Join in the dance. Good evening. Welcome to tonight's Dean Seminar Distinguished Achievement Award presentation honoring Michelle Nance. I'd like to recognize the college leadership team that is here with us tonight. Director of School of Art and Design, Beth Thomas. Director of the School of Journalism and Mass Communication, Judy Oscom. Director of the School of Theater, Dance, and Film, Sarah Maines. Chair of the Department of Communication Studies, Marion Hauser. Our Associate Dean for Faculty Development and Research, Joey Martin. Our Associate Dean, Lori Fluker, is actually interviewing students for our Presidential Upper Level Scholarship Committee right now at this moment in time. And I'd also like to thank the colleagues in my office, Kevin Gilly, Clarissa Rodriguez, Sonia Kraus, Lisa Herman, and Candace Mangel for your support of tonight's event. And finally, are there any previous Dean Seminar recipients in the house? Previous Dean Seminar recipients. All right, and welcome to you as well. All right. The Dean Seminar, basically I always say, as Dean, I'm extremely fortunate that I am surrounded by exceptional colleagues, faculty who are engaged in a very fascinating array of scholarly and creative activities, and faculty whose brilliance makes me look good. So I enjoy celebrating our faculty here. And when I look at the accomplishments of this college, it's clear that there are many, many extraordinary faculty in the College of Fine Arts and Communication, and the Dean Seminar is a time when we come together to celebrate that excellence. And I often say that the person being honored is a stand-in for many more who also are deserving of this honor, and over time we gradually get to different people to recognize them. In recent years, we added the Dean Seminar Distinguished Achievement Award for a senior faculty member who has a sane body of exceptional work. And so tonight we're honoring Michelle Nance. A brief bio on Michelle. She's a professor, director of the Division of Dance at TXST University. She holds her Bachelor of Exercise Sports Science from Southwest Texas State University and an MFA in Dance Performance and Choreography from the University of Colorado Boulder. Professor Nance has had the privilege of performing in works by many prominent American choreographers and dance companies, including Eric Hawkins, David Dorfman, Joe Good, Darla Johnson, Catherine Duke, Leanne Smith, Nadia Diachenko, David Capps, Louis Kavoris, Nicole Wesley, Anna Bayer, Shay Ishii, Valerie Green Dance Entropy, Susanna Williams Dance Forms Productions, and many more. Her choreography has been commissioned and showcased in renowned dance festivals and venues such as the American College Dance Festival, Austin Dance Festival, Brazos Contemporary Dance Festival, Boulder Creek Festival, Dance for the Planet, Barefoot Brigade, Hunter College Legacy Series, New York International Fringe Festival, Minnesota Fringe Festival, and Field Day in New York. Internationally, Michelle has been invited to perform and teach in Guatemala, Costa Rica, Scotland, Chile, Greece, Malta, Ireland, England, Spain, and France. Currently, she collaborates and performs in screen dance and hybrid stage screen works with the award-winning We Create Productions, a joint US-UK outfit. And she serves on the board and curation panel for the Sans Souci International Festival of Screen Dance. Her additional research interests include improvisation, site-specific dance, somatic practices, and dance comedy. She has a deep expertise in Eric Hawkins' modern dance technique, having studied and taught it extensively, and she also served as the assistant school director for the Eric Hawkins School of Dance in the mid-1990s. Still trying to figure out why we're giving her this award tonight. No, seriously, Michelle has been a faculty member at Texas State since 2003. She's been awarded the Presidential Distinction Award in Teaching 3 times, Presidential Distinction Award in Scholarly Creative Activities 8 times, Presidential Distinction Award in Service 4 times, and she was the 2021 recipient of the Everett Sweeney Faculty Senate Excellence Award in Teaching. Tonight's presentation is titled Dancing in the Creative Zone, Collaboration, Sensing, and Play. Please welcome Michelle Nance.
My apologies, you have to look at my ugly plastic water bottle. But I will be dancing a little bit, so I will need to drink some water at some point. Hi, thank you for being here. I'd like to thank Dr. Fleming for this opportunity to share a little bit about my experiences in dance making. I'd like to thank the staff in the Dean's office who keep everything running smoothly. Director Sarah Maines, of course, of the School of Theater, Dance, and Film, Candice Mangello, the operations manager for the Performing Arts Center here, and helped me to stay calm and put this together today, so thank you, Candice. My family, friends, mentors, thank you so much, especially my cherished colleagues and students for inspiring and supporting me along the way. A big shout out to my husband, Andrew Nance. Where are you? Who, as he's championed and challenged me as a co-creator in both art and life. So thank you, Andrew. All right, so I'm going to talk a little bit about what we're going to be seeing tonight, and then I'm going to demonstrate some live dancing as well. Okay, for this presentation, I'll be focusing on my work as a performer and a choreographer, both in concert dance settings and in site-specific screen dance. I will highlight a few of my experiences as an artistic collaborator, working with musicians and composers, videographers, lighting designers, costume designers, and other dancers and choreographers. Additionally, I will share with you a little bit about the dancer's experience of sensing and play as we work in the creative zone. Creativity is not a luxury, but a necessity. The act of creating involves full investment of the body and the mind in the exact moment that we live in. It requires deep sensing, an attunement to the self and other dancers, the space, time, rhythm, and energy. Experimentation, adaptability, and play are crucial skills developed as a dancer, and any artist, I think, and those can transfer directly into life as a human. I'm going to start with a live performance entitled Twilight Tear, in collaboration with one of my creative partners, Richard Hall, and who is an accomplished composer himself and a professor of instruction here in the School of Music. That's not Richard up on the screen, although segue, but you will see Richard in just a moment. This is actually Lucia Dugoslawski who inspired this piece that you're about to see. So the abstract movements and sounds in this piece that you're about to see, and as well as the structure of the choreographer, are inspired by a sketch and a poem that was gifted to me by Lucia Dugoslawski. She is an accomplished composer who passed away in the year 2000, and the piece that I made it about a year after her passing in honor of her. And it is based on a musical fragment and a poem that she gifted me and my husband when we hosted her for a Thanksgiving dinner that my mother-in-law will remember well, in New York City in 1997. All right, let me show you the sketch. There it is. So the geometric shapes and the vertical and horizontal lines in this sketch inform the shapes of the body in the dance, as well as the traveling patterns through space. The words of the poem are embedded in a zigzag fashion throughout the sketch, which also informs the timing and the rhythm of the dance. And then I put the words over to the side so you could see what it said. You'll notice that Lucia provided some notes at the top right corner. These notes provide instructions for the composition of the music, indicating timing and tone. I created the first iteration of this piece as part of my master's thesis concert at the University of Colorado in Boulder, and commissioned a different composer at that time, Randy Gibson, who interpreted Lucia's notes and extrapolated the fragment into a longer piece, utilizing live cello and pre-recorded electronic sounds. When I restaged the piece in 2022, which was about 20 years later, which was not an easy task, I reached out to Richard to create his own interpretation of Lucia's notes. And Richard, you can go ahead and get set up. His piece features sounds from various metal lids and bowls being struck or bowed, and then manipulated and looped digitally. All right, a little bit about Lucia's dynamic scale. So another big inspiration for this piece was to honor Lucia's training. She was a composer, but she taught all the choreography classes at the Eric Hawkins School of Dance, where I studied in New York. And so while this piece embodies a sensation of the body in space and time, it also articulates a range of dynamics in movement. So this is her graph. So Lucia, when teaching dancers, wanted to help dancers and choreographers articulate exactly how strong or delicate the movement was at any given moment of time. And we had to specifically write scores according to the counts of our music and then also the dynamics of the dance. So the horizontal line represents the pulses, the timing of the dance, and those can be grouped into different meters. And then the vertical line represents the amount of strength or delicacy that we perform the movements with. And Lucia was a very poetic person, so she would give us a lot of really juicy imagery to achieve some of these dynamics. For example, strong to the 4, which would be pretty high up on the scale, is similar to a clap of thunder. So that image and the sound of a clap of thunder could give you an idea of how strong to make that movement. While delicate to the 4 would be the stroking of a baby's cheek, which I just love as a poetic metaphor of how soft to perform a certain movement. I also love that she included something beyond delicate 4, and I don't know if you can read it, but it says disappearing. So I haven't quite achieved that in my dance performance yet, but I'm working on it. All right. So a few things, this will just be a black screen while I dance, but a few things to look for are sensation in the body. So there's a few moments where I'll demonstrate if I can hear me, where I'm on the floor and I turn my head slowly and my chin is touching the floor. And hopefully you can see it. Hopefully you're high enough that you can see it. So it's a very delicate moment in the dance, and it's the idea of really having a sensory experience with the floor, which most of us don't do on a daily basis, funny enough. And another moment, I call it the deep breath, where I'm exploring the sensation of tension, of gathering tension in the body and then releasing tension from the body. So feel free to do that with me and take a deep breath when you see that moment. Another moment I consider the climax of the piece is where I get the most delicate, and I haven't quite disappeared yet, but I'm going to try tonight, where I descend very slowly to the floor and then spend a long time rolling on the floor and really trying to sense moment by moment the weight shift on the floor, the skin, the back of the head, the softening of the muscles, and then I stand back up. So in that moment, I gave Randy the instruction to do his most strong dynamic against my most delicate dynamics to contrast those. All right, so I think we'll show you this as Twilight Tear. talk amongst yourselves.
Thank you, Ricky.
I thought the blazer might make me look a little more professional. I don't know, but then my daughter pointed out that it's bright pink, which is kind of like Barbie. But Barbie's pretty professional, let me tell you. All right. Great. Another area of performance that I've explored more recently is site-specific screen dance. Site-specific entails movements that are designed or improvised in a particular location, rather than making the movement in the studio and then superimposing it in a location. And screen dance is a hybrid form of cinematography and choreography, and I'm gonna get another drink of water. It's really, I don't know how musical theater people do it. All right. Okay. We'll go back to this one. All right, before filming, the artistic team must develop a clear concept, scout locations, secure permissions, and be ready to change locations suddenly if a problem or obstacle arises. While filming, there may be extended periods of downtime, waiting for the perfect lighting conditions or weather. Sometimes it's a very short window of time when the ideal circumstances exist. The dancer's body must stay warm and ready to perform at a moment's notice. Very different than stage dance. Dancing for the camera is also unique in that the energy furnished by the live audience is absent. The dancer relies on her own sensation and compositional awareness while improvising, as well as verbal cues from the director, and we often stop to review the footage for notes and retakes. All right. From the performer's point of view, concert dance for theatrical stage is a very different experience. The stage space is controllable and predictable. It's usually a nice flat surface with a sprung floor. In contrast, alternative and unlikely performance spaces are not so accommodating, whether the location is in nature or in urban locations. One is confronted with the elements, the weather, the temperature, obstacles, uneven surfaces, passersby, and intrusions. Additionally, overarching compositional potential must be considered, as well as the effects of the camera and the angles and how those are integrated with the movement. The body shape relates to the elements of the location as well. So the photo on the left here is a twisted, fragmented shape. And I remember being inspired by these fragmented mirrors on the tiles there of the awning above. And so I created that twisted shape. The photo on the right is my dancing partner, Heike, and I, and the textures of the overlapping elements in the space made us want to make these overlapping shapes while we were there. All right. In addition to the sensation of the location, the connotations, history, and purpose of the location is also considered. Why is the dancer placed in the location? What is the dancer adding to the location? The photo on the left is a moment in Marfa, Texas, with the big West Texas sky, the vastness of the flat landscape, the road stretching into the horizon. The movement is direct and confident. The dancer is going somewhere. The photo on the right is a cemetery in Limerick, Ireland, a more somber location loaded with history and meaning and a sense of finality. The dancer is staying in place with a more internal focus and gesture. Homemaker, this is a film that was filmed on the construction site of my own home about 8 years ago in collaboration with videographer Anna Baer, composer Richard Hall, and architect Andrew Nance. Yeah, it's kind of odd. It's a post-feminist take on the role of a homemaker, as this strange character literally makes the home as the film progresses. Aligning with my own slightly bizarre sense of humor, the viewer finds this character out of context in crazy wigs and costumes with tools and cleaning supplies. The final edited video creates a loose narrative of this character building the house over time. Okay, I'll let you look at that while I take one more drink. All right. Sometimes the sensation of the dance and the location are in juxtaposition. This is a photo from footage shot in Las Vegas a couple of years ago. My dancing partner, Brandon Gonzalez, and I shot vignettes on the Strip with Anna Bear as the videographer. Utilizing contact improvisation, as well as some set choreography, this attunement to the human connection juxtaposes the overt materialism and spectacle that is Las Vegas. The dancers are oblivious to the environment, holding fast to their interpersonal connection. Our last shoot of the day in Las Vegas, we attracted a crowd around us and accidentally became inadvertent street performers. We can add that to our vita. Folks were taking photos and videos, and they applauded when we finished. I remember this moment as one of the only times that our movement gestured outward, away from the focus on one another. And this is the moment when I was aware we were being watched. All right. Another element to play with in locations is the idea of repurposing. Bollards become perches, stairs and landings become places to rest instead of places to pass through. Additionally, it is always fun to take advantage of filling up negative space, finding nooks and crannies in which to insert the body. Oftentimes, and usually the most exciting times, are the happenstance moments of discovery. In these two photos from Barcelona, Spain, we were en route to another location when we noticed the opportunity to integrate the colors of my costume with the colors on the walls and the uniforms of the window cleaners. So we took advantage and shot a quick solo in each of those. Another illustration of color and blending into the environment. This is a screenshot from the film We Create Memories, which was filmed in Limerick. The costumes were by designer Robert Burton of the UK. And he had done a lot of research on Limerick and had visited the city and was inspired by the colors and also the unique lace patterns that are unique to Limerick lace, and designed these beautiful costumes for us. And we were amazed indeed when we put them on how much we blended into the environment in those costumes. All right, we'll watch a screen dance now. This one's about 5 minutes. This one is entitled Hinterterra, and it was filmed on the island of Malta by We Create Productions. The music is Jack Laidlaw, and the video is Anna Bear and Heike Salser. Heike Salser and myself dance in the film in addition to a local Maltese dancer, Florinda Camilleri. And the work places the body in both urban and natural landscapes, exploring the local through a visceral embodiment of place. fun fact about that one, I don't know if you remember the scene where a train was coming by and Heike and I are filling up the window frame. That was unexpected. It was a tourist train going through the town. We were dancing, and Anna was on the other side of the street filming, and this train comes by, and I remember I was in a shape already, and I was just thinking, are we gonna cut? Are we gonna keep this? What should I do? And I wanted to laugh really loudly at just the absurdity of it. And there were these little kids like waving at us. And again, we were part of the tourist attraction, I guess. But I just remember thinking, okay, just hold it, hold it, hold it. And then sure enough, Heike thought the same thing, so it made it into the film. Yeah. All right. All right, another way to integrate into the locations is through relating and play. Just like that story I just told, there's oftentimes people, passersby, things happening, and how are we relating to these things that are happening? So both of these are in Barcelona, Spain. The one on the left is we were scouting out this location to dance because it was a nice open courtyard and it had a nice flat surface. So we thought, oh, we can do our big dancing here. And there happened to be a couple of musicians playing, and we asked them if they wanted to be part of the film, and they said sure. So we ended up having an impromptu jam with some musicians there. The photo on the right was at the National Museum there in Barcelona, and we just decided to hang out with the people that were hanging out on the steps. And just a really normal way to hang out, you know. And so some people, you know, noticed us, and I think were a little perplexed, but also kind of didn't care. You know, it was a big urban city. Yeah, so these are just really fun moments that we find. Another fun moment, so this was, the photo on the left was part of an installation here at the MIDI Gallery that Anna Bear had. And it was vignettes from a lot of different pieces that we had done together. And so in this scene, I was the character from The Homemaker. And I was improvising, and I decided the homemaker would probably want to measure this elevator shaft and see how wide it was. And at the exact moment when I extended my arms, the elevator opened. And Sophia Bear actually caught this photograph here at just the right moment before we saw each other. And I remember us making eye contact and the look of shock on her face to see this really weird lady in a wig when she opened the elevator. So really fun moments when you're improvising in sites. This other one on the right is again from Barcelona, so a great moment in the film where a skateboarder happened to be passing by and just fit into the composition perfectly. It looks like he's part of the scene. All right, another way to integrate and play is sometimes there's audience participation. So this is a film that you'll see in a little bit entitled The Wall that we did in New York City, and it involved some Post-it notes. And we were taking a break from filming, but I had a few of the Post-it notes on me, and the woman asked if she could put a Post-it note on me and be part of the film. So we were like, sure, you can do that. And I really wish I hadn't smiled, because I think I kind of broke character a little bit. But anyway, and then the one on the right, I was dancing on the Brooklyn Bridge, and I almost hit this person with my freakishly long arm. And she smiled at me, and so we had a moment there where we interacted in the film. All right, so this piece, also The Wall, I'll tell you a little bit about it here. Let me get to the right slide. Yeah, so there's so many ways to interact in a space. So I'll show you this video of this film, The Wall. It was filmed in December of 2016. And actually, Anna Bear and I were there for another purpose. We were investigating a summer program for our students. So we were kind of scouting out some different studios there. And as Anna Bear does, anytime she goes somewhere, she brings her camera, just in case. So I brought a painter's suit and some go-go boots, just in case. You never know what might happen. So we had no idea what we were going to do while we were there. We just thought we'd film some things and see if it turned into anything. So happenstance would have it that while we were there, we noticed at the 14th Street subway station there was a wall full of colorful sticky notes. And upon further investigation, we discovered that the notes were part of an artist installation by street artist Matthew Leve-Chavez, and it was called the Subway Therapy Wall. And after the 2016 US presidential election, the subway wall became a place for New Yorkers to vent their emotions. So we decided then and there that the film could be a fictional story about how the sticky notes arrived on the wall. So my strange character in the painter's suit could collect sticky notes from around the city and redistribute them. So we dedicate this screen dance to as a tribute to the artist and all the people that posted their thoughts on the wall. This music is also Richard Hall. All right, I do want to leave some time for Q&A. I have a few more images to show you and perhaps an excerpt of one more film, our most recent film. So we're close to the end. All right, I also enjoy multimedia performance, so combining all of these elements, stage, screen, lighting design, costume design, projections, other dancers and choreographers. So I'll show you just a few examples of multimedia. Let me get to that one. Great. So this is Scenarios, which was performed in Boulder, Colorado, and also here at Texas State, combining concert dance with screen dance and other hybrid forms. This one, the lighting and scenic design was Cherry Duvall right here at Texas State, and Anna Bear did the video, costumes by Monica Pasut. And I forgot to mention, she also designed this costume. Thank you, Monica. I see her right there. It was Kevlar, right? The material? This, yeah, the Tyvek. Okay, so this white material, which was great for projecting images and light. And we also used white paper in this one. And Nicole Wesley was in this dance, who is here tonight, I think, as well as Brandon Gonzalez. Another dance that we've done, both screen and live dance in combination. This is Doll's Eyes. Also, Cherry Duvall did the lighting and scenic design. Anna Bear did the video. And Cherry arranged for these fabric to be hung as if it was a clothing line. The piece had to do a lot with clothing, and projected moments from the screen dance onto the stage that way. Another big one that we did a couple of years ago in collaboration with the theater division, this was the Four Seasons, and this is the segment Spring, which I choreographed this segment. This entire production was full of undergraduate and graduate students, faculty in both theater and dance that collaborated to create that piece. Also, we've done a lot of collaborating with this particular costume designer, Robert Burton from the UK. So this is our film Wilderness that we did several years back, and we used a drone, and these beautiful white dresses were a big part of the piece and inspired a lot of the movement. As serene and relaxed as we look lying there in that itchy heather, I developed a rash in there. We were freezing. I was very jealous that Heike got the long sleeves and I had no sleeves. But it's a beautiful piece, but it was a very uncomfortable piece to film. And also there's a story about a sheep, so ask me about it at the reception. And then that particular piece we also converted into a live dance. So Anna redesigned the film so that it would fit with the stage dance. And so this is a great moment, I think, of synchronicity where the video and the live dancing matched up. All right, so we'll just watch a segment of this last video, and then I think we still have some time for a Q&A. This is the most recent film that We Create Productions made just last summer in Colorado, in the foothills of Colorado, so it's a very environmental piece. And it was filmed on the land of one of the dancers, the other dancer, Kim Olson. And in 2012, there was a fire that destroyed many, many acres and 30 homes, and 3 people died in that fire. Kim and her family made it out, and their house was saved. But we came back, and it's regrown, and we decided to experience the space and to sort of do a tribute dance to that event. Let's see. finish there. Sorry to cut it off. Sorry, Anna Bear, the ending is really good with the smoke, but you'll have to find it another place. But anyway, we have about 7 or 8 minutes Q&A. Yeah.
Questions? We've got questions. Somebody has questions.
So where can we see those films?
Anna's website, is that a good place? Yeah, I'll send it to you, Judy. Yes. Yes.
Someone there had a question. Kevin.
Yeah, thank you so much, Michelle. One thing I'm going to ask you about is to kind of, before you did your dance piece here in front of us, you kind of joked about, it's a 20-year-old piece and you're kind of returning to it. Can you, as we've kind of asked you to kind of reflect on kind of your work a little bit, can you sort of explain what that means, what it was like for you to return to that piece, kind of either mentally or bodily, to kind of come back to something that was from maybe just like a different chapter, an earlier chapter in your life?
It was nostalgic. Yeah, it was great to revisit that time. It was the end of my graduate school experience, and I felt like I was in the best shape of my life, and I was like really invested. And it was recently after Lucia had died, and I was really excited to make this piece in her honor. So it was intimidating. I thought, I want to bring that back, but then I thought maybe I'll set it on someone else, like just assuming that maybe I couldn't do it 20 years later. But then I looked at it, I was like, no, I think I can do it. And so it really came back quite easily. Body memory is amazing. And there's definitely the cardio is not there like it used to be, and there's definitely moments that I think were a little bit bigger maybe, but there's definitely, I think, more maturity performing it now. I think I like the version now better than the one I see on film from 20 years ago. There's just more softening into the movement and not as much fear and tension as I had 20 years ago dancing. Yeah.
Other questions? Someone else? Yes, Jack.
I'm curious, white inner suit and go-go boots. What is your process when you're packing? Was it a happenstance? The three of you were firing?
It was very happy. So, yeah, really, I just look in my closet and I'm like, oh, this is weird, let's bring this, or I don't know, I think actually I purchased that painter suit because I think we thought we were going to film something, and I remember Anna and I talking about contrast, the city, something bright white will provide contrast to the city background. That was really the only, and then we looked in the costume closet and found those boots, perfect, and that's all there was to it.
When you're doing the dance out in nature, does someone have to go first and check for sticks?
Yes. I wish that we had a whole team. That would be amazing. When we filmed Wilderness, we actually had a team. We had a van, and we had the photographer and the costume designer and the person that held our bags, and it was pretty amazing because the University of Roehampton, or not Roehampton, it was Teesside at that time. Had a little money, but normally we are our own crew. So Anna Bear, while she's filming, is wearing all of our coats, and we have all of our bags and purses under her, so nothing gets stolen. This is in an urban area, but for the outside we do just us, the dancers, and Anna. We all kind of scout the location, make sure. We were a little bit nervous about snakes in Colorado, and just so we stomped around, and then we get rid of things we might trip on. But a lot of times you're in the middle of an improvisation and you see the thing, and you're like, okay, I'm going to go the other way, and that just is what the choreography becomes. You just have to work around the elements.
Yeah, I was wondering how much of this work takes place in the theater prior to going out and doing it, or is it all in kind of...
Yes, that's a great question. So the live piece I did is highly composed. I can repeat it exactly the same each time. Well, not exactly, but it's choreographed, it's set, it's for a stage space. But these dances, we tried it once on our first one that we did together, Wilderness. We went into the studio and crafted a few phrases of choreography. And then when we took them outside, we couldn't do it because the ground was uneven. So we've learned now, we've gotten to be really good improvisers together. So we have some movement ideas and we have a concept for the piece, but like, for example, Heike and I have been dancing a long time together now, so we just go out there and relate to each other, relate to the space, and it's mostly improvisation.
When did you first start adding screen dancing to choreographed dancing as an art here at Texas State? I really love it, and I'm just curious to know a little bit more of your perspective on it.
Yeah, well, here at Texas, I was introduced to it at my University of Colorado in Boulder, where Anna Bear actually went. We met there, and so now we teach here together. So I hadn't really played with it much until I knew Anna. And then, so she brought it here to Texas State as a form, and now we have a screen dance class where students learn how to do it, and they also create their own screen dances, and Brandon Gonzalez also teaches that class. Yeah.
Over here.
Yeah.
Can you talk about your creative process with Richard?
Yes, okay. So Ricky and I started teaching at Texas State in 2003. We were only 5 years old. At the same year, and we went to the university, like the new faculty orientation is what it was. And so we were, neither one of us knew anyone. So we went around and we had name tags, and I saw that his said music, and he saw that mine said theater and dance, and we just found each other. Like, okay, artists. And so we sat next to each other at the orientation, got to know each other, and then probably the next year we started doing stuff together. So we've had a really long working relationship in lots of different venues, lots of different strange and exciting things.
Speaking of which, hi, music major student here. I'm also a young composer as well. And after seeing your presentation, I'm thinking I might be interested in composing music for dance, along with theater and film. But do you have any advice for how to navigate creating music for dance at all?
Oh, okay. Ricky might have some good advice about that. It's a very unique working relationship, I would think, with each choreographer and composer. And Ricky's worked with a lot of dancers and choreographers. For me, the different musicians I've worked with, it's kind of talking about the concept. I usually have like a tempo or a sound or a mood or some instruments in mind. Like, oh, this is definitely, I'm hearing strings or I'm hearing percussion. I'm wanting it to be soft, and I have like some dynamic ideas. Sometimes I have a rhythmic structure with the dance also. So I think it's having those conversations, and then a little bit of back and forth. Like maybe you create a little something, don't get too attached, and then the choreographer hears it, and then you get some notes, and then it goes back and forth. Like maybe the choreographer's like, oh, what a great idea, I want to pursue this. So it's really a conversation in my experience.
I think we're going to bring
Okay.
this presentation all the way to this color jazz. So for the information, thank you very much for all that you do for the Division of Dance, for our students, the college, the university. You truly exemplify what we seek to celebrate here with the Dean's Seminar Achievement Award. And so to part of it, you get three things. You get one, you get this plaque to take home with you as part of our Dean's Seminar Distinguished Achievement Award. Also, you'll get your name added to the plaque up in Old Main, where you join a very distinguished group of Dean Seminar recipients, and you also receive $1,000 of travel research money to use over the next year and a half. So to wrap up, we will now have a reception lobby, so you continue to celebrate Michelle, ask her any further questions, and just enjoy each other's company as we celebrate with the reception lobby.